Hello everybody and welcome to this Oblivion series. I apologize for this intro, but I wanted to clear, something up before we get into it. For all intents and purposes of this video, because as it says in the title, Oblivion Day 1, for all intents and purposes, every 12 hours of footage is going to count as one day, because I wanted to do this in like a Forge Labs-esque style. For any of you that have watched his 100 days, in this Minecraft mod or whatever, and every day in Minecraft is he goes to sleep in the bed, right? But with Oblivion being the way that it is, and for all of us Elder Scrolls players who have played Skyrim and Oblivion and whatnot, we've all been there, right? Sit there and just wait for 12 hours, well, you guys know what I'm talking about. So I thought that if we go based off the in-game timer, based on how often we could use that, in quick succession, how many of us have literally sat there and waited 12 hours or so in the game, realized that we screwed it up, we messed up the timing and had to wait again? I know I've done it a couple times. So I thought that was an unreliable way of doing that, because then we would just breeze through days probably a little too quickly. So I ultimately decided to do, like I said, just 12 hours of footage is going to be one day. And I came up with 12 hours because I thought that was a nice middle ground. Because, depending on if you're a kid or an adult, a kid in school with chores, a kid in summer, or an adult that's working, or an adult on their day off. The hours are in constant flux with how much. And I thought 12 hours was a nice middle ground because, sometimes you could get 16 plus hours in a day if you really wanted to. Other times it's 8 or less. So I thought 12 hours was a fairly middle ground. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but that's the mindset that I chose. So, yeah. Now that has been addressed, what type of style this is and why it is the way it is with the 12 hours, hope you guys enjoy, and now let's proceed into Oblivion Day 1.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, yes, the music. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Oh. I haven't even started the game yet. I'm already crying. Oh. After 19 years. Thank you, Bethesda. I should not be this fucking emotional, but okay. No one gives a shit about the UELA. Fucking Christ. Whew.
I was born 87 years ago.
Oh my god, it looks so good!
For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land.
Oh, this looks so much better than in the original.
This is the 27th of last seed.
Oh my
Year
god.
Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the third era
It looks so beautiful.
and the final hours of my life.
It already looks more colorful than Skyrim ever did. Yes. The music is alive and well, thank the lords. God bless you, Bethesda, and God bless the team that made this. They believe they outsourced it, and you know what? I'm fucking fine with that. Argonian... holy shit. Nord, Orcs, damn. Red Guard, Wood Elf, Imperial, High Elf, Dark Elf, Breton, Argonians, dude, nice! I'm gonna stick with Khajiit because that was my very first character class when I played Oblivion back in the day. I'm gonna do that. Origin? I don't remember this being a thing back then. Good lord, he looks so good and detailed.
Assassins attacked my sons, and I am next.
And welcome everyone to the post-commentary section of this video, which is pretty much the entire rest of the video, with the exception of a couple snippets. But hello, welcome. I appreciate you guys sticking through the intro and my weird ass first impressions of the main menu and everything like that, but here we are. The summary. Well, the summary of day 1 of my Oblivion journey as Cazador. Yes, Kai, if you're watching, it's exactly what you think. Just don't give me shit, I can feel it from here already. But anyway. Anyway. After making an admittedly very basic bitch Khajiit, because Khajiits are my go-to race. Always been a Khajiit player from ever since 2006. You know, when the original Oblivion came out. But after making a basic bitch Khajiit player and kind of skimming through the opening with the Emperor talking about how they're escaping through the secret passage, which we're currently abusing, and that the Mythic Dawn cult of Mehrunes Dagon is hunting him and his sons, and he is the last alive, basically. We basically follow him out of our prison cell, because that's, you know, like any Elder Scrolls game, that's where you always start. And we, after going through a little bit with them and them saying, you know, fuck off, essentially, we make our own way through some caves, you know, go the roundabout way, fighting some goblins that are between us and getting the fuck out of here. Admittedly, putting the game on apprentice mode was a little bit easier than I expected, but that was probably just me being an idiot. I should have put it on to depth, but honestly, I ended up towards the very, very end of this video, probably like the last half hour or so. I did, and I started to die a little bit, but it was, for the most part, a good challenge where I was still managing to stay alive for the most part. So, I think it was a good decision. Which also means I'm probably not going to have as long videos, arguably, because I'm probably going to have to cut a lot more footage, but oh well. But after going through the caves, we eventually meet up with the Emperor and the Blades and get attacked by more Mythic Dawn, which we swiftly take care of for the most part. Actually, I don't even think I fought any of them. I think I just watched them fight, as you can see. But this right here, is where the Blades were debating on killing me, and the Emperor, with his foresight, basically says, nah, fam. And then that's where we get our opportunity to pick our birth sign, which I personally always pick the warrior. And then, after picking our birth sign and fighting more Mythic Dawn and the Emperor getting murdered in front of us, we fight some more Mythic Dawn assassins. But right before then, the Emperor oh wait, no, sorry, get a little ahead of myself. The beauty of not scripting. Oh, let's see it. Escape to the Imperial sewers. Nice. Oh, it's beautiful. Alright, cool. It's beautiful. Now, after taking in the environment, I proceed to make my way forward. Which, by the way, like I was about to say, when I was talking to Breas, I believe it was, I created my own custom class with a specialization of combat, with my favorite attributes being strength, endurance, and my major skills being armor, blade, block, destruction, marksman, restoration, and sneak. That was my main focus. But after we escaped the sewers and had our little moment there that you just saw, we proceed to do what any Elder Scrolls player does and completely fuck off the main quest and just go discover shit until we get bored or what have you. So we proceed to explore this fort for a hot minute. And as you can imagine, we just loot the fucker, the best that we can. I lockpicked the shit out of everything. I don't know if you guys auto-resolve this shit, but I remember when I was young, I had friends that could never quite understand how to do this for some reason, and then I would do a very hard lock first try, and they would be like, what the fuck? So, I don't know. I would really love in the comments for those of you who have played this game to back me up that it's not as hard as people think. Because I know some people that just, for some reason, don't get it. But anyway, we proceed to go through this fort and just sneak our way through, because I love sneaking in Elder Scrolls games. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the brawl, but something about sneaking with the bow and arrow is just so satisfying. But we get to what I believe is the end of the fort, because I couldn't, at least not to my obvious knowledge, couldn't see a way to get any deeper. So as far as I could tell, this was the end. And then, of course, there's a ghost there, and because it's been a long time since I played, I haven't played since, 2007, 2008, the classic Oblivion, so I couldn't remember how to deal with these. So, when he was immune to my attack, I initially was like, oh shit, but then I remembered, wait a minute, he's a fucking ghost. And so I lit his ass on fire. Because magic always works. When in doubt, magic. So, after making my way out and proceeding to just stroll through the woods of Cyrodiil in its beautiful glory in Unreal Engine 5, I discover another cave/mine, whatever. They look the same for some of them. And again, I do some more exploring and looting. With most of the loot being mediocre at best, like some lockpicks, gold, dumb shit. But yeah, I just make my way through the caves and just snipe everything that I can possibly find. Which, by the way, both in Oblivion and in Skyrim, especially if you use the very, very common arrows, like I believe iron arrows are the most common, you almost never run out of arrows because you find them in every fucking thing. So, I don't think I've ever played a playthrough where I have run out of arrows. Maybe with some of the stronger arrows, like in, you know, Skyrim, the ancient Nord arrows and stuff like that. But like, again, in the comments, please, people, if there's ever been a point where you've run out of arrows, like, and I mean the common arrows, like you just genuinely run out despite all the looting you do, please let me know. I would love to hear the story, because I have never been in that predicament. Well, maybe on hard, but to be fair, I usually play on the easier difficulty, so that might just be a me thing. But anyway, I digress. But we proceed to make our way to the end of the cave. Not long left in this cave, and just killing goblins with bow and arrows like we're fucking Legolas if he was a fucking cat. Sounded funnier in my head. I say as if it came to my head. I didn't even think. I don't script shit. I'm just talking out my ass here, which I think is part of the fun here. But we just strolling along and harvesting the fuck out of everything in sight. All of you Oblivion fans and Skyrim fans, or just Elder Scrolls fans in general, loot, loot, and more loot. Am I right? But we get to the end and we find this amulet or whatever it was. Not that it really matters, because we're just strolling along, just looting and killing, right? But we ended up finding the guy who that thing that we looted belonged to, and which actually was a souvenir or whatever from his dead wife, she'd be missed. And then I proceeded to loot his house like a complete and utter jackass. And then I feel like in that moment I just divided half of the Oblivion community. It's like, you know, one half is like, yeah, good for you. The other half's like, you're a dickhead. You know what? Fair enough. But yeah, after doing that, found yet another cave and proceeded to go through it. And gotta say, all these caves and everything look amazing. Like, God, just... I've always said there's a market for remastered games, and this fucking proves it. I mean, like, playing a game from my childhood in this level of fidelity, like with the modern tech, is beautiful. But anyway, I proceed to make my way through the cavern, or whatever you want to call it. This particular cave had two different paths. One actually was in that deep hole in the big main room that we saw a minute ago. But I proceeded to take the top route first, which led us to the top part of the crevice. And after killing and looting, I then make my way back to the main room here with the big hole, and go and take the bottom path, which leads me into that little crevice that you saw a second ago. And after killing some mud crabs and shit, and doing my sweet looting, we then proceed to loot. Did what I say make sense? No, it fucking did not. But does anything in this world make sense, especially when you're playing a fucking RPG that's like Oblivion? No, of course not. But anyway, you can tell I'm having way too much fun with this and just being a complete, utter dumbass. But anyway, after completing that cave, I spot in the distance the big spire, which I went, oh, going to that. Because I never went there in the original game. But of course, we found some stuff along the way, like this fort, and proceeded to go looting and killing. Because of course you do in an Elder Scrolls game. How do you not? I do want to ask another thing. I feel like I've asked everyone in the audience to comment on a couple of things now. But honestly, like, what game do you prefer? Like, I would love some interactions, like, in the comment section. Like, do you prefer Oblivion? Like, Oblivion in general, whether it be remastered or classic, considering they're pretty much the same game with a couple tweaks and quality of life improvements, but same game, basically. Do you guys rather prefer Oblivion, or do you guys prefer Skyrim? Like, if you had to pick one, which one would be the one that you stick with and play? Like, I've always valued Oblivion. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Skyrim and I love what it does. Like, I love the shouts, I love the dragons, and like, it's a great fucking game that I've spent hundreds of hours on as well. But there was always something about Oblivion that I always was more drawn to. Like, maybe because it had more of the fantasy elements, like, you know, like there are just features in Oblivion that I really enjoyed that they took out in Skyrim, like, you know, the armorer mechanic, because you're weapons don't have durability in Skyrim, if I remember correctly, so unless they added it in like survival mode or something, because I know they added like stuff like that where like weather can kill you and stuff, like gotta wear warm outfits and stuff. So I don't know, maybe they changed that and I just don't know. But like Oblivion just had things that were really cool. Like I mean, do you guys remember playing Oblivion and you guys were just being an idiot and not checking your weapons, and then a weapon broke mid-combat and you're like, oh shit. But I feel like we've all been there. But yeah, after looting some caves and stuff, we eventually end up at the Spire, and we find the tome that basically tells us a little bit about the place, you know, the memoirs and whatnot. But we basically are told that we can restore this place to its glory by visiting the shopkeeper of the Mystic Emporium. So as you can imagine, we're going to go there a lot. We are going to go there a lot. But I do take a quick tour of the place in its dilapidated state, and even in its current state, with there being not much here, it does have a nice appeal to it. I don't know how it looked in the original game, because I never got a chance to do that. I never did any of the DLC content in the original game. And I believe this was DLC content, so this is really cool to me. And just seeing this garden, like with the, you got the Nirnroot quest, but you know, just seeing the garden and seeing how all this looks, like, it just, like, immediately I could tell that this was a place that, even back in the heyday with its graphics, because it did have relatively crap graphics back in the day, but goddamn it, was it colorful and vibrant, it was beautiful. But this place was really lovely, and it has teleports to each of the mages guilds, even the Arcane University, which was awesome. And then there's High Hrothgar there in the distance. You know, the throat to the world. I'm so glad you can actually see it. But damn, this has a view. Like, can we just agree with that? Like, and then there's even taller view. And I could see frickin' the Imperial City there in the distance if it wasn't so fucking fogged up. Thanks, game. But but goddamn, there's just even on PS5, like, you can see so much, like, with draw distances, like, it's utterly gorgeous. And here's the vault, which there's nothing in it because it's bare. But then I do proceed to teleport to the Arcane University instead of just teleporting to the Market District. I don't know why I decided to do that. But after teleporting to the Arcane University and for whatever frickin' reason speech crafting a guard for no reason other than I just like the minigame. I don't know if anyone else does, but I genuinely like the fucking minigame. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't understand why. Like I was like 7 years old in 2006, but I don't think I started playing this game until like 10 years old. Like, are any of you that are around my age when you played Oblivion on the 360, when you're a wee lad or whatever, did anyone else just speechcraft nearly every NPC you fucking came across? Again, case in point, as you just saw me do there. Like, just everyone? Or is that just me? Am I alone? Like, no, this is a genuine fucking question to like the 5th or 6th. I don't fucking know how many at this point. But, like, seriously. But anyway, now we go to Wayne Priory. And the reason why, since I kind of glossed over it, you know, earlier, is when the Emperor died, he basically entrusted us with the Amulet of Kings and said that he has a son that he hid away called Martin. And that the only person who knows of his existence is Joffrey. And we basically learn that the Amulet of Kings is what allows the Septim bloodline, who are basically Dragonborns. They're the only ones that can ignite the dragon fires that keep the gates of Oblivion from opening in Tamriel. Like a divine barrier, so to speak. So now that we have learned that we need to go find Martin, and where he is, because Joffrey said he's in Kvatch, I take a nap and then go to sleep. But before I go to Kvatch, I decided to go to Leyawiin, as you saw, and then immediately leave it and just explore the map. Because I just wanted to explore shit. And the reason why I decided to explore this shit is because I think before I started this series, Well, actually, no, because this took me a total of 8 recording sessions, ranging from like an hour to 2.5 hours, you know, roughly. But about 8 recording sessions, with the average being about a little under 2 hours. But after my first recording session, I showed my best friend this game and let him play it. And, you know, invited him over, and because he never played the classic Oblivion, and I told him this is exactly the same except for this and blah blah blah, except for small things, blah blah blah. And he managed to get the Dark Brotherhood shit, and I couldn't remember how to do it. So the second recording session, which I think is pretty much most of the clips that you're seeing now, was me wandering the map trying to just get the Dark Brotherhood stuff. I was like, I think I need to go kill this guy at this place, but I couldn't remember where it was, and I ultimately had the whole Dark Brotherhood stuff, because I haven't played this game in fucking years, just mixed up. So that's basically what this is me just roaming around, discovering places, not even going in them, because I'm just trying to find a specific place, instead of just... like... Honestly, looking back at this footage, it's kind of fucking stupid. Wow, I'm talking way too fast. But just, you know, the way I'm doing this, like, I should have just let it happen when it happens. It's not like it's going anywhere, but I really wanted to be part of Dark Brotherhood because I had so many fond memories with being younger, doing the quest line and stuff. So this little bit of the game, I was determined to get into the Dark Brotherhood. And you're gonna see me do some stupid shit here in a minute, you know, for that exact reason. But yeah, just roaming, you know, the lower right-hand side of the map, you know, towards Leowin, I believe. Was it Leowin? I'm pretty sure it was Leowin. No, yeah, it was Leowin. I've already fucking... brain. Too excited and rambling too fast. But just roaming the bottom right-hand side of the map and finding yet another Mundus Stone. You know, and surprisingly, I'm surprised I found, you know, that Shrine of Nocturnal, I believe it was, that we saw a minute ago. I'm surprised I found that. But yeah, just, I continue to roam the map, and then eventually I go to Cheydon Hall and visit the Sanctuary, and then as if I was gonna get in when I don't know the passcode. I don't know why I proceeded to come here. But then I proceeded to shoot this guy, trying to kill him, thinking that, oh, if I kill someone, then they'll notice me. I remember that's what I need to do. But I decided to be an idiot and do it in plain fucking sight. In front of a fucking guard. Why? I don't know. But alas, it was only 60 bounty, and I wasn't about to go to jail over 60 gold and lose some shit. But then, after that, I proceeded to go to an inn and upgrade to the next level. And upgrade said stats. And then I proceeded to break into 3 different houses and loot a little bit for no fucking reason. Just 3 different houses. And then after that, I went to Bruma, because I was like, I know that there's something in here in Bruma that I needed to do. Like, maybe if I kill someone specific, like, again, memories all the way. So then I ended up killing this guy in a really good sneak attack, and then ended up killing his, like, servant or some shit. And then after looting, I decided to finally go to Kvatch, where this guy basically ends up telling us that the gate of Oblivion has opened in front of the city, and all hell is breaking loose. And as the hero of the story, you bet your fucking ass we're running straight into the hellfire. And as we get closer to the gate, we see the gate leeching the realm of Oblivion into our world as the skies turn. And god damn it, is it cooler. I actually almost think, because of the way they did it in the original game with, like, the limited, you know, graphics of the time, like, I almost think it's a little cooler, like, in the original game. But the gate itself is much better. But then Salvian Mattis basically tells us that they can't get into the city and blah blah blah, and we ask about Martin, he says he's in the city, blah blah blah, right? We gotta get into the city to save Martin. That's the goal here, but we got to close the gate in order to do that. And what I immediately noticed that, unlike the original game where it had, like, these effects, but it was completely see-through and you could see the door, this you can actually see, like, a little, like, JPEG, I guess you would say it is, but whatever, of Oblivion. And I thought that was really fucking cool, that now, instead of it just being see-through with this weird fire texture, you know, like, you can actually see into it, like you're seeing, like it's an actual portal. That's cool as shit. And then, of course, I go in there and I fight some fucking dumbass scamps that were easy as shit to do on Apprentice difficulty, as you do. Use my destruction spells that I never fucking used for most of this playthrough. And then this guy. This guy, you can either have him with you as a companion or you can tell him to leave. I think most of us just tell him to leave because we don't want to deal with it, especially on easier difficulties. But I do eventually kill the scamp that was to the right of the Oblivion gate, pretty close by, and then I proceeded to, for no other reason other than just, I won't go do that, you know, kind of a mentality, decide to climb this thing as if there would be anything interesting here. Because of course there's fucking not. Like, why would there be? But, of course I had to try it, and to try to see if the weird-ass jump physics and shit would allow me to. And no, sure as shit, yeah. We are now here. And if I was any higher, or arguably on a harder difficulty, if harder difficulties affect fall damage, I don't know if they do, but let's assume that they do, I would have died from that, probably. But now I realize there's nothing fucking here. And even though I accomplished something that was completely not needed to be accomplished, I now have to find a way the fuck out. But thankfully, weird-ass fucking physics, I just walk my happy ass up. There's a few instances where I do that shit, where I just walk up, like, weird angles that shouldn't work, but here we are. Welcome to Oblivion. Well, just welcome to fucking RPGs. I think we all do that. But anyway, making my way through Oblivion and fighting scamps. And then this happened. For fuck's sake. God damn it. Yep, I died. I died to some stupid fucking rocks that, you know... Because of course I did. But yeah, just make my way through. Almost died again, if it wasn't for that rock saving my ass. But almost died again even. Like, jeez. But yeah, I proceed to make my way further and further through the realm of Oblivion, or well, one of the subsections of this realm of Oblivion. And just fight a lot of scamps and harvest anything that I can find. Because, I mean... when you're playing an Elder Scrolls game, if you're not a loot whore, then why the fuck you playing it, right? But yeah, just fighting a bunch of fucking scamps that will eventually start kicking my ass later in the game. I do proceed to take a small detour. Instead of going to the main keep, I go to this tower thinking it's gonna be of some importance. I think I just wanted to open this gate for some fucking reason. Even though it's not like I needed to open it. If I go to the main keep and close the gate like we're supposed to, then, you know... like, I don't know. Looking back on it, I think I just wanted to explore. Because realistically, there was, like, very little I gained from doing this, but whatever. But I did open a gate and use the blood fountain to regain some health, even though I was already at pretty high health, but whatever. I then leave the thing thinking that this gate's open, but apparently I opened a different gate. And I don't even know what gate it was, because I don't think I found it, or if I did, I didn't pay enough attention. But then after more exploring and just roaming around, taking it in, because it does look good, remastered. It looks good. I proceed to go into some caves. And Daedric caves are cramped as hell and have a good amount of enemies in them, and especially on harder difficulties where you don't have anywhere to go, like, I can see how that'd be a problem. But we're on Apprentice right now, not a big deal. Just killing like the wind, right? I don't fucking know why I said it that way. But after going through the cave and finding another door and getting into another tower, I kill and loot, and yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing of real importance here. I mean, I got a repair hammer. I mean, that's something, right? I got a dagger of frost that I'm never going to use. But, you know, every loot is good loot. Because all loot can be sold, and selling is good. That it makes sense in the loosest of sense, but whatever. But anyway, we do eventually, after some bullshittery, make our way to the main keep. And at the top of this keep is the key to shutting this Oblivion gate down and stopping the invasion of Kvatch. And of course, after killing everything in the main room, I decided to jump into the thing to kill myself, just because I think everyone has done that at least once. You know, I don't think you can play Oblivion and not do that at least once. But anyway, after my utter stupidity, I proceed to make my way through the tower, fighting enemies along the way, slowly making my way, you know, stealthily. Taking out conjurers, apparently. Yeah, fuck you, scamp. But yeah, I gradually make my way up the tower, mainly using the bow and arrow, because for some reason in Elder Scrolls games, I'm almost exclusively an archer, unless people close the distance really fast, you know, or like a dragon lands, and then I'll like go and beat the shit out of it, but anyway, I finally get high enough in the tower where I have to go into this side tower in order to get the key to progress further, but I take a moment to look at the vista, and my god, does it look good. But after going to this side tower, killing the Daedra, and taking the key, and finding one of the dudes that the other guy from earlier when we entered the gate was talking to us about, he basically tells us not to worry about him, there's bigger things at stake, go close the gate. So, of course, there's not even an option to free him, I think. So he's just gonna waste away in Oblivion the rest of his life, I guess, I don't know. But here we are. But alas, after that little sad moment with that dude and grabbing the key, we proceed to make our way up to the keep, visiting another side tower that I'm pretty sure this one was completely frickin' optional, which is why I just skipped over it entirely, like you just saw. I proceed to make my way up to the top of the keep, and only got a little ways to go now. Yeah, can we just take a moment to appreciate how fucking good this looks? The textures of, like, the walls and shit. Like, goddamn. But we finally make our way to the very top. We are now at the very top, where we can finally close this gate. There's only a couple enemies between us and success. So we are not going to stop now. So after killing a couple enemies that were around this room, and killing this Dremora fuckwit that just put up no fight at all, we steal the sigil stone and we close the gate, and I gotta say, that looks cool as fucking shit. It just looks utterly amazing. And with that, we are out of the Oblivion gate, and it is closed. And it closes in a fiery glory, which I think looks cooler in this than it does in the original game, as it should for a remaster. And of course, Salvian admires us and is like, oh my god, that was amazing. Can you help us retake the city? You got more combat experience, blah 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 blah. To which case he says, let me know when you're ready. So I proceed to go to the Mystic Emporium and sell some shit, and then proceed to go explore. And I fast traveled to a fort that we already did, because at this point I wanted to look for the city that I couldn't remember the name of.
And the harbor at sunset is beautiful. Take care.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
What the?
Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
What did I do? So as I was saying, I wanted to go find that city that I couldn't remember the name of. Athletics Mastery, let's go. That if I did its quest, I would basically be able to sleep at an inn in the city for free anytime I wanted. And at this point in time, I didn't have the Frostcrag Spire. I didn't have the bedroom or anything, so I needed to find some place. So as I was running away from this guard and shit, and finding all these unique places, I finally found the place. because I knew it was in this general area. And after him explaining about this sorcerer and this fort that's just down the hill, did this spell, and that this invisibility spell hasn't worn off yet for God knows how long, I forget exactly. And now that they're it's not fun. The townspeople are not fucking having it. So now we go down the hill to this fort and talk to the guy. And he does kind of explain what he was trying to do briefly, especially if you push him on it. But after a little bit of a conversation of him explaining what's going on and him not knowing about the town, and after you telling him, he gives us a scroll of reverse invisibility, which we then go to the city to use, and everything is all fine and dandy now, and we have now completed the quest to unlock that free room at the inn, to which I immediately abuse that. Even though for some fucking reason this bitch behind him is still invisible. I put in all that work and only got a partial success, which admittedly irks me a little bit. But at the same time, it's probably a visual bug. It is a little funny, and at the end of the day, I still got my free room, which was the main thing. I'm cool with that. So I leveled up, and then after that, went back to Kvatch and proceeded to fuck shit up. And after fighting in the main courtyard and heading into the chapel, which is where most of the civilians are, Salvian says we need to basically go storm the castle. Which is fair given the state of everything that's going on. But the castle is blocked by the gates, and he proceeds to explain that there's a way around it, and we need to talk to this guy, who will basically guide us through the undercroft of the chapel in order to get around it and open the gates from the inside. And of course, there are fucking Daedra in the undercroft, which I love the game. I love the game to death. I will always say it's a 10 out of 10. But you mean to tell me those fuckers didn't think at any point while they're in the undercroft to break down the fucking door to get upstairs to get to those civilians? I call bullshit. But anyway, I proceed to purposefully kill the guard that was leading us there, to which it was noticed by unknown forces, and it was at that moment that I knew the Dark Brotherhood would get in contact with me. Mostly because I watched my friend do it when he was playing that one day, and I was just trying to get to it sooner.
Stop! You violated the law. Since you lack the funds to pay the court, you must serve out your sentence.
What? Why do I have 1,000 bounty? What, because I shot the dude? There was no witnesses. So yeah, I don't know what happened. I was pretty sure there was no reason for me to shoot that dude. Oh no, I did run away from that one guy and less well. But anyway, went back to the Mystic Emporium, and then I proceeded to go to this other shop nearby called the Slash and Smash, or I believe it was, and sell some weapons, since I can't sell weapons at the Mystic Emporium. So I sold everything that I could and did some speechcraft and some haggling, and then proceeded to talk to this guy, because now I decided I wanted to be in the Thieves Guild. Because I got an invitation, I guess, I don't know. But after following this guy, we finally had what everyone has at least once in a Bethesda game. Here we go.
That's not fair. Methridel, you know the rules. However, for Amu's...
Fuck! Airport... Well, I guess to be fair, it is a Bethesda game. I mean, not surprised that it's bugged out within 5 hours of gameplay or so. Fucking A. So after that buggy fiasco, I reload the game, go back to that spot and wait, and for some fucking reason, a conjurer appears. To which I'm over here like, what the fuck? Why? And of course I chase after him because it's like, why the fuck? Like, I don't know if the game bugged out or whatever, but I like with most of these clips that don't have anything of significant value to it, I just cut the audio because of the post-commentary and stuff, especially with all the constant, going from scene to scene transition BS. But, like, the people were basically saying, he was basically repeating the same line over and over again non-stop, like every second. It was a little annoying, so I was glad that when I killed him, they decided to shut up. But after finally doing that scene and him basically giving us a quest saying, go to this, find this guy and steal his diary, and you are going to be accepted into the Brotherhood, and it's a contest between the other two. I immediately turned around, saw the beggar, gave him 5 coin, he told me where he is, and then I went there, but proceeded to come to the house with only 1 lockpick, because I was an idiot and decided not to buy any, and then just save scummed. I reloaded a save, went back there, saved at the door, and just kept reloading until I got a successful, lock. Broke in there, stole the diary, and here we go. And then proceeded to forget to buy lockpicks, because I'm a freaking idiot. But we beat the contest, and now we are back in Bruma, where I decided to break into another home and steal shit, because I wanted to go fence some items. So I looted this house. The best I could, because I didn't want to kill the people inside. But then I went to this guy, who's also in Bruma, and did my speechcraft as you do, for bartering reasons and stuff, and sold some shit. Because of course I did. And after selling some shit and leaving, and immediately getting more than enough gold to actually do some Thieves Guild contracts, because I wasn't able to at the start, I then go back to the inn at Elswell and level up and talk to Lucien Lachance, who gives me a quest to be accepted into the Brotherhood shall I complete it. So if memory serves, I go to... Was it Skingrad? I think it's Skingrad. It's somewhere in that area, I believe. But then I travel to that city and then run all the way to my destination, and finding a Shrine of Talos on the way, to which he tells me to go fuck myself. Because of course they do. But I then found the inn that I needed to with my target, and after breaking in and looting all of the rooms upstairs, and then go downstairs, loot the other room next to his, and then proceed to sneak my way into his room using the blade that Lucien Lachance gave me, and I murdered his ass right then and there, and you felt good. It felt good knowing my task was complete. To which case I looted that room and then left and just wandered along again. Didn't go into anything. This is the part of the video where I can safely say that 90% of the shit that I find, I don't go in and enter for some reason. I just get super quest focused, and if I find something, I just leave it for later. But I have a video record of every place that I've found, because as we established earlier in the video, if I find something and then explore it, I immediately show footage of it. So I have a pretty detailed account of places that I've discovered and haven't been into, since I'm going to be recording everything. So all I have to do is just look hard enough and we'll get there. But anyway, after roaming around more and exploring shit and talking to this lovely Khajiit lady about some rumors about Deep Scorn Hollow and that some shit's going on that the Dark Brotherhood's not gonna like, which I'm pretty sure is actually a quest line that you get for the Dark Brotherhood later, but we just haven't got there yet. But after exploring more and finding a shrine that you just saw that I didn't go to, which take a guess what it would have said had I did. Yeah. Anyway, finding more explorable locations and finding a shrine to Clavicus Vile, actually, who actually had a pretty fun quest in Elder Scrolls Online, I will admit. The quest in Somerset Isle, I believe it was. Those of you that play it know what I'm talking about. I haven't played online for ages, and there's so much content I haven't done. I've only scratched a little bit of it, but I kind of lost interest in it. But fun game, especially with friends. But after talking to this guy and then proceeding to talk to the shrine, just like with Nocturnal, they're like, nah, you're too weak, get the fuck out of here. To which I'm like, oh, okay. But then I proceed to roam the land once again of Cyrodiil, enjoying the beauty of everything around me. And then I decided to go back to Kvatch to actually finish it, to which a fucking Imperial soldier was just in the Undercroft, which was weird. But now I actually proceed to speedily make my way through the area, and now I'm on the other side of the gates. And with that, we can now open the gates and we can finally finish this siege and siege the castle. And for some reason, I was like in a glitched state of invisibility. I don't know what happened. It stayed that way for frickin' ages. It was very, very odd. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure I never took an invisibility potion, but anyway. Salvian Mattis basically proceeds to be like, we need to go into the castle and find the Count and whatnot. To which, of course, we do. We go into the castle. They proceed to hunker down in the main room to secure it, while we and my Imperial Legion that decided to follow me go deeper into the castle and look for said Count. And of course, fighting some Flame Atronachs, which look beautiful in the remastered, I gotta say. We then make our way deeper into the Great Hall and fight some more Daedra fuckers and more fucking Atronachs. I swear, it feels like I fight more Atronachs than most of anything else. I'm not fucking joking. Especially with the amount of times I've already been into the Oblivion gates in this first 12 hours. I have fucking fought a lot of them, it feels like. It feels a little ridiculous, but honestly, hey, XP is XP, so fuck it. But yeah, I do find, the body of the Count and deliver the ring to Salvian after I proceed to loot the rest of the Count and the room. And just completely desecrate that fucking thing. But then he proceeds to give us his Cuirass, which is cool, that I don't use. I think I just stored it somewhere. And then after that, I proceed to make my way down to the encampment that we discovered when we first entered Kvatch and convince Martin to come back to Wayne Priory. After telling him what the situation was. To which, of course, it's being fucking attacked by the Mythic Dawn, because of course it fucking is. So after attacking the Mythic Dawn and securing Wayne Priory to the best that we could, we then make our way into the chapel to defend Joffrey, because I feel like he was arguably the second primary target, which we'll get to in a second. But after ganging up on these fuckers quite successfully, he then tells us that the target was the Amulet of Kings and that we need to go check on it. And of course, as you could fucking imagine, the chest it was in the secret room was fucking broken into and it's gone. But life's a bitch. I know you hear some of the game audio right now, but this scene I'm leaving in because I really enjoyed this scene.
I've put myself in your hands.
Grandmaster, is this...
Yes, Cyrus. This is the Emperor's son, Martin Septim.
Hail. My lord, welcome to Cloud Ruler Temple. We have not had the honor of an emperor's visit in many years.
Ah, well, thank you. The honor is mine.
Come, your blades are waiting to greet you.
I'm clearly not in line with
Blades.
the guards, but we're just going to ignore
Dark
that.
times are upon us. The Emperor and his sons were slain on our watch. The Empire is in chaos. But there is yet hope. Here is Martin Septim, true son of Uriel Septim.
Hail, Dragonborn! Hail, Martin Septim!
Your Highness, the blades are at your command. You will be safe here until you can take up your throne.
Joffrey, all of you, I know you all expect me to be Emperor. I'll do my best. But this is all new to me. I'm not used to giving speeches, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate your welcome here. I hope I prove myself worthy of your loyalty in the coming days. That's it. Thank you.
Well then, thank you, Martin. We'd all best get back to our duties, eh, Captain?
Not much of a speech, was it? Didn't seem to bother them, though.
So after enjoying that amazing speech, having a brief conversation with Martin and a brief conversation with Joffrey as well, I get an offer to become a member of the Blades, the sworn protectors of the Emperor. To which, of course, I accept and then go to the Mystic Emporium to go do some more selling and shit. To which I finally buy the bedroom area of Frostcrag Spire. So we still need 4 things. We need the other 3 blueprints that you just saw, and then the mage tallow candles or whatever for the enchanting and spellcrafting. But we're making progress, and now we can go sleep at the spire now. Hell yeah. I don't know about you, but I'd rather sleep at the spire than the fucking inn, I'll tell you that. I mean, look at the fucking spire, it's beautiful. But anyways, after making some progress on that front, we then proceed to sleep, and Lucien Lachance shows up in my home, because of course he does, and says that I have done well and that I am now a member of the Brotherhood, to which case I go back to Cheydinhal and enter the Sanctuary, and gotta say, it felt good. It felt real good to be back on this quest line after so many years. And of course Ochiva, you know, love Ochiva, you know, greets us and gives us our new Brotherhood robes and such, and basically informs us that we will be taking contracts from Vicente, who is a vampire. So we have the option to become the vampire for the first time. So quick, so early, actually. I believe there's other means to becoming a vampire, obviously, but this is a good way to do it. But after talking to Vicente, he gives us our first contract, which entails us to go to the waterfront district. And basically, the best way to do this, arguably, well, I guess it depends if you have potions or not. But one way you can do this is to do it the way that I did it, and sneak into a crate, which will be loaded onto the ship, and then sneak your way up to the captain's cabin and murder him. Problem is, though, is I find that even in my glitched state of invisibility, it don't go well. It does not end well. I do get caught and have to reload a few times. I eventually just say fuck it and kill everyone in the bottom, as you will see here in a hot minute. But as someone who tries to, when they're doing Dark Brotherhood missions, for roleplay purposes, I take it very seriously. It irritated the shit out of me every time I kept fucking up the stealth. And why I thought they would get distracted, I don't know, from shooting arrows, but yeah, reloaded again, and then I thought, you know what, fuck it, I failed, and I'm just gonna murder everyone. So I did. But I did get to the captain, and I took him out, and of course, looted as much as I could, and saw he had a certain novel that I'm sure you guys caught on to. Certain spicy type of story from, if my memory serves. Stupid, fucking Christ. Anyway, we discover this new cave on the way of us escaping the guards and whatnot, and after swimming across the river and running through this little town, we make our way back to Vicente and of course complete our first contract and get our rewards, and then get our new contract. And as I was leaving, this happened. But hold on a moment. I made a mistake earlier in the game, because with my memory, like I said, of not remembering exactly how to do this, I ended up killing Balin, which was the first clip in the black and white, who was the target of the contract, and I lost out on the bonus because I killed him way too prematurely, like very early on, which was unfortunate, but shit happens. Me and my infinite wisdom of being a little too greedy and impatient wanting to join the guild, but alas, I still got the base reward and proceeded to do my next contract, which, funnily enough, required us to kill the dark elf that was in the cell opposite us at the start of the game after character creation, and after getting a key from Vincent, we have to make our way through the sewers. Unfortunately, we can't go the short way that we get on the tutorial. Basically, we have to go a longer way because the short way is sealed off. So after making our way through the long way and seeing a few areas of the sewers that you don't typically see otherwise, unless you randomly decide to explore the sewers later in the game, or you, in my case, do the quest. But we do see some sights, some interesting rooms that we didn't see originally. Like this room. I always thought this room, for whatever reason, looked really cool. I don't know what the purpose of it is, but I just thought it looked neat. But, alas, after going through the long way and going and doing some lockpicking through some doors, we now get back to where the Emperor died. And after avoiding some guards, having the occasional fuck up, as you were about to see right the fuck now, because I'm pretty sure I get... Yeah, you can tell because it just brought me back. I did get my Conjuration Mastery, though, up, which was nice. But now, after doing this in a bit of a smarter way, surprisingly didn't get caught from that jump, I then sneak my way through and eventually get to the target. It's actually not that hard to sneak through here if you're patient. It's actually not. If you're trying to rush through it, I can see how it'd be difficult, but it's actually surprisingly easy to sneak through here. Even sneak out, actually, is pretty fucking easy. But again, we eventually make it back to our cell, grab the key to the cell, open it, and this dark elf Valen, we then proceed to murder his ass, because that's what we do. We're an assassin. We're an assassin of the Night Mother and Sithis. So of course we do. So now we sneak our way back out, and my conjuration spell that I kept spamming keeps taking off my armor and shit, but whatever. But after sneaking our way out, which sneaking out was easier than sneaking in, to be honest with you, as I'm sure this display kind of makes that very apparent, because what the fuck. We then get back into the sewers, and after sneaking out of the sewers, well, running through it, since once we, we then get back to the outside world, to which there's an Oblivion gate over there in the distance that I didn't catch because I was too focused on selling some shit, or at least I thought I was going to sell shit, and then I realized I don't have anything to sell or whatever, and then I went back to the Brotherhood, and I got my bonus as well. I basically get the bonus for every single one of these, with the exception of that one, because I killed him before I was even in the Brotherhood. But with the exception of that one, I basically get bonuses in every contract, so a little bit of foreshadowing there. But it's not really foreshadowing if I'm fucking telling you, but whatever. But this contract requires us to basically, that guy that you saw me stab a second ago, it's with a special blade that basically we'll put the guy into a coma, and if once we administer the antidote, he comes back. And that was basically this unique contract, was we need to basically make it look like he died, for because there's people that he owes money to that are basically after his life, and we basically help him fake his death and get him out of town, and then we get some money for it. But of course, this fucker decides to fail to mention that when we awaken him in his family's crypt, that there's like a curse or whatever on it, or whatever the fuck he says. But basically, when we awake him, the souls and spirits consider it a desecration, so they come to life and decide to attack us, because of course they fucking do. Yeah. But after that, we bring him to this little area and talk to the dude, get everything situated, and Bob's your uncle. Contract complete. And then after getting that situated, I head off back to the sanctuary and get my just rewards. I just realized it gave me an amulet that I don't think I ever put on, actually, in the entire 12 hours, but whatever. But yeah, now I basically take contracts from Ochiva now. And this contract, I have to find an elf called Phelan. And this was an interesting one, because I went to the Mystic Emporium intending to sell some shit, but then realized I could ask her about Phelan, because he lives in the Imperial City. But after getting some answers to that, I went to where he is supposed to be, and went upstairs and talked to this lady, which I wasn't intending to talk to until she said Phelan. So of course I had to get some answers, gotta talk, get some info on my target, as you do. But alas, I got nothing. She didn't tell me shit. So I went back downstairs and tried to get some info about Phelan, and no, that wasn't gonna happen. So, of course, I went and did some speech crafting and got some answers, and decided to wait for him, and then I killed him. But alas, the bonus contract required me to kill him in a secure location to get my bonus. What the? Oh, that's lovely. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So after reloading my save, because I really want those bonuses, and glitching in that chair, I then speechcraft my way to get some answers, and find out that Phelan goes to this little home almost every day for quite some time. And I sneak into said home of Lororkin or something like that, I believe it is, but it doesn't really matter. Names are irrelevant when you're just trying to hunt your prey and take them out, you know? Those are just details at that point. Names of homeowners. Who cares, right? But no, it was Lorkmere actually was the name. But he is dead. Don't think that ever gets addressed, but he's fucking dead. So of course, after looting and getting my security mastery up, which is a big fucking help, I then hide in a corner here by the front door and wait. Like a real assassin, I wait for the opportune moment. And then I proceed to follow his ass and murder him. And with that, loot his shit. Most of it, anyway. And then I have now killed him in a secure location, so now I can go and sell the stolen shit that I stole from, like, the homes and stuff, because of course you do. And then after that, I believe I make my way back to... Oh no, I was wrong. No, I was gonna say the sanctuary, but no. I went back home and... because I believe I bought the alchemy lab and didn't realize that I bought it. Because I think I wasn't paying attention to my own clips, apparently. But after going home and stuff, I then went and... I'm speaking way too fast. After talking to Ochiva and getting yet another contract, I believe I fast travel to Anvil, I believe it was, and then make my way to the target. And I, of course, discover some things along the way. Use a conjuration spell that makes me fucking naked, essentially. Find a fucking random ass chest in a tent, find a lord's estate that's deep in the mountains for some fucking reason. Okay, I guess. And find another Daedric shrine somehow. I don't know why I keep finding these. Then again, I get told to fuck off. I'm too weak. So, after my spirit's being shattered again, finally find the fort in question to take out our target. But we need to take out our target in a unique way. If we want the bonus, we have to replace his medicine with a special poison. So the goal is not to kill him directly. We need to sneak our way through undetected and swap vials for the poison. But of course, I somehow get fucking detected even though they're not even looking at me, because of course I do, so I reload. Because, I can't be bothered with that shit. And sneak my way calmly, coolly, collectedly. I'm already questioning why I phrased it that way, but whatever. It's out there now. I'm committed now. So after sneaking our way pretty easily, actually, to his cabinet, we take the medicine and then replace it with the poison. The special poison. And now it is time for me to get the fuck out and collect my reward and bonus. But I noticed this gate's open that wasn't open earlier, so you bet your ass I went and looted some shit, and then I went home to have a sleep, a little nap, and then I leveled up. If it's not obvious by the way I'm leveling up, I'm trying to keep myself relatively balanced in all areas. I'm not stacking myself into one. Is that gonna fuck me over? Possibly. But either way, after doing some stuff, I then proceed to go back to Achieva and collect my just rewards, and then start yet another contract, because I love the Dark Brotherhood. And I wanted to do that quest line before I did most of anything else, even though I did take some breaks. So this particular contract was very interesting, because apparently these guests, all of which are on their last day of their lives, all of these guests are basically tricked to thinking that there's hidden treasure, if memory serves, in this house, and that the first one that finds it gets to keep it. And it's a little ruse to trap them into this house, because they're trapped until they find it. So, now that the ruse is in place, and my speechcraft mastery increased, we now, one by one, sneakily and stealthily, patiently, take out one at a time. Thankfully, not long into this, one of them decided to go upstairs by themselves, to which I just fucking murdered him real quick, looted their shit. He happened to be an ex-Legion, so I looted his fucking Legion outfit and replaced that, because I usually have my Dark Brotherhood armor, and then I always keep a set of heavy armor with me for when I go to Oblivion and shit, because I like to have two different outfits based on what I'm doing. It's really weird. But anyway, after looting that, speechcrafting a couple people to make sure they like me, seeing this person go upstairs by themselves, and I take my opportunity to kill him. Somehow this person sees me on top of the body, does not even register that I'm an issue or that there's another dead body, just decides to take a nap. That's actually one of the weirdest things I have seen in the game, but hey, I'm not complaining because literally no one else suspected me in spite of that. So I took my opportunity when this other guy decided to go to the basement by himself after they said we need to stick together, took him out, which left this one guy left, and killed him, and they all died not suspecting a single thing, which was how I got my bonus. So after getting both my rewards, I accept yet another contract to take out a Legion guard that has been known. Hold up. He's just swimming with his freaking armor on? What the hell is going on? Back to what I was saying. An Imperial Legion guard that has been known to make life with the Brotherhood a bit difficult at times. So after tailing him and trying to figure out a way, especially after him swimming with armor, which might have been a temporary glitch or whatever, not entirely sure what was going on there, because he's not supposed to wear his armor while swimming, so that was very odd. But after trying to break into the barracks, I believe it was, and getting very annoyed at the fact that I, kept having to save scum, I eventually went back and bought some lockpicks off my fence in Bruma, and then broke my way into the barracks. But of course, with the way the guards are structured, it is almost impossible to break in, because as soon as you do, there's almost always a guard that's about to turn the corner.
You'll never take me down! You should have paid the
You're pathetic.
I fought mud crabs more
I fought
fearsome
mud
than you.
crabs more fearsome than you.
What the fuck is going on?
This is your last warning.
Go take
Will
a
you
break.
fall down?
What the fuck just... What? What the fuck? I really hope someone in the comments really explains to me what the fuck just happened, because what? Anyway, like I said, it was either I kept getting caught or weird shit like that. That was the only time that happened. I still don't understand why that happened. But then I ended up getting a bounty of 5 gold, which I just went ahead and paid because I didn't want to lose stats like you do when you go to jail of over 5 gold. So then I paid my fine, did my all that shit, and then went to this little house after crossing the river to check out that tomb for a half second or whatever. And then I tried to sneak my way into the house to see if I could take care of him. But alas, of course, I got fucking spotted immediately, and he's still in his armor. And that's a problem. The bonus requires me to use this special arrow while he's not in his armor to get an insta-kill. Well, that's part of it anyway. Oh no, the bonus was to... never mind, sorry. Getting way too ahead of myself, just love playing this game. But yeah, after killing him, taking his severed finger, which is going to be used for the bonus, apparently, even though no one saw him die, they all instantly knew it was me, which means I couldn't fast travel. So I just left the city and I hauled ass along the hills and plains and whatnot of Cyrodiil and found some shit along the way, because of course you do. But along the way, if memory serves, because it seems like it happens every fucking time, yep, there you go, a shrine of Shia fucking Gorath, and same fucking thing. Well, okay, not the same thing, I don't have offerings this time, but still, I got told no anyway, so fuck the Daedra. But anyway, I took the severed finger of Mattias and had to place it in this guard's desk, but thankfully it didn't matter if I was seen doing it or not. So I just walked in, he saw me, I resisted arrest, lockpicked the desk, put it in there, and ran through the sewers. I just hauled fucking ass, as you can see, back through the sewers to escape, thinking they weren't gonna follow me. Keyword, think. Let that sink in. Oh shit. Okay, wait, what? Okay then. So after dealing with them and staring at that gate for a hot second, I then crossed the streams and I went into it, because I was not about to look an Oblivion gate straight in the eye and not do something about it. You know, I might be a bit of an evil bastard, murdering people for the Dark Brotherhood and stealing shit, but by God, I'm not gonna let this realm fall to the hell of Oblivion, right? So I saw a gate and I went and fucking did something about it. I did it once and knew I could do it again. So I went in there and I just started fucking shit up. Because of course I did. And after doing some weird ass jumping, this happened. What the fuck? Oh, it's funny. Anyway, after exploring a little bit of that realm, doing some harvesting, doing whatever the fuck that was just now in the previous little clip, I made my way through the keep and climbed it and fought my way through it, taking out every fucking Dremora and Scamp and all that shit in sight. And partially because I haven't changed my difficulty mode to Adept yet, it was easy. I was making my way through like a champ. That won't last long though. That's not gonna last long at all. You'll see when the difficulty picks up here pretty quick. But alas, we made our way to the top, swiped the sigil stone, and closed yet another gate. And now, after another gate closed, I made my way back to the sanctuary, talked to Achieva, and got my rewards and my bonus. And then talking to Achieva again for my next contract, oh no, I got a special letter from Lucien Lachance to meet him at his home at a fort nearby. But of course, when I left the sanctuary, because I still had a bounty from before, I ran my happy ass to the fort. I just ran full wow, I was about to say full spood as if I'm in fucking Thanos games or some shit. Okay then. But yeah, nonetheless, I went to the fort and the guards followed me. And yes, this fort is guarded by undead that don't pick and choose. Like, they attack everybody. But thankfully, they prioritized the guards, so they were on my side, and then once we took care of them, I went and finished them off, and made my way through the fort, killing pretty much anything that stood between me and my Dark Brotherhood superior. And after jumping over this randomly placed hole that I don't think I ever have been down, might need to go do that. Might be an experiment for a different day, maybe, if I remember, but regardless, we made our way through and went to Lucien Lachance, finally. And he proceeds to basically direct us that there is a traitor that has been active for some time, since before I even joined, so I was in the clear. And that made me the perfect tool to do an ancient rite of purification, which is to kill all the members of that sanctuary because it has been tainted by the traitor. So I, following the head honcho of the Black Hand, or at least one of them, I made my way into the sanctuary and murdered everyone. Surprisingly, I killed this bitch. Everyone woke up, looked right at me, and decided to go back to sleep. Don't know what happened there. I'm still very confused as to what the fuck happened, especially considering it did not work a second time. Tried it again, and this time, yep, everyone woke up and attacked me, so now I'm in a free-for-all brawl. But you wanna know what? That's just fine. That's perfectly fine. So after killing them one by one, and then looting their chests, and getting some heavy armor mastery, upgrades along the way, which is very nice. But after looting and killing, I make my way to the training room, and go toe-to-toe with the big fucking orc. Because, of course, it's always the orcs that give you the most problems, which makes sense with lore and whatnot. But anyway, partially because we're still on apprentice difficulty, not a problem. And that just left Ochieva. Even though, personally, I liked Ochieva, I had to kill her nonetheless, because orders are orders. So after reading this mischievous note from the other thing, and having a bit of a chuckle at the fact that she has her own copy of said novel from before with the captain, I then go back to Lucien Lachance and inform him it's complete, and killed a guard that decided to fumble his way into Lachance's home, to which Lachance decided to watch me attack him, which I thought was like, oh, you couldn't help, really? Fucking dickhead, but whatever. I mean, it is invading your home, but nonetheless. He rewarded me Shadowmere, as you saw. I finally have a fucking horse now, which is lovely. So I, with that, proceeded to go and find an Oblivion gate that was relatively close by, actually, and go storm yet another part of the realm of Mehrunes Dagon, and sneak my way through, avoiding traps and all kinds of bullshit. But funnily enough, I don't know what happened, but this scamp got glitched into a rock, which was really bizarre. I don't understand what happened there. But after doing what any Elder Scrolls fan does and jumping up the side of hills you shouldn't be able to jump up on, I make my way to the keep and enter and do what I do best, and that is close some motherfucking gates as I climb the tower, murder virtually everything in fucking sight, Because, I mean, they're Dremora, they're not worth saving, right? If it wasn't for the fact that they're literally trying to invade the realm of Tamriel, that would definitely be considered racist. But anyway, dumb, stupid jokes with questionable context aside, I, as you saw, entered that door and got ambushed by a conjurer, which was no problem, and proceeded to make my way further up the keep and take out more and more enemies. Encountered one of those stupid towers that shoot fire that, as far as I can tell, you can't defeat. If there is a way to do it, please let me know. I don't know how, I don't understand how, just whatever. But anyway, we make our way to the top, take out the sigil stone, and close yet another gate, which, again, for the moment, keeps the forces of Oblivion at bay. But then, of course, it decides to spawn me inside of a fucking rock, so I'm stuck. Because of course, it picked that place somehow. But a simple fast travel, and all was well. All was right with the world. So then I run along with Shadowmere, discovering stuff and avoiding it, because, again, quest-focused. I then make my way to the Dead Drop, because now I get my orders from the Brotherhood through Dead Drops. And upon reading them, or I guess I don't technically have to read them, reading them gives you context, but I now have got my next contract. But a very short distance away from that Dead Drop was another gate to Oblivion. But before I wanted to take on that, I wanted to go back to have a rest and level up, which I did at a less well for some reason this time, and apparently was a bad fucking idea because an Imperial Legion decided to stumble across me right as I left the fucking inn. So I just swam across the river, discovered another door that leads to a different section of the Imperial sewers, discovered another cave and a Mundus stone that gave me some armor and weapons, which was interesting. Can't go wrong with that, especially if it's better than what I got. I don't know if it is. Found a Wave Shrine of Julianos, though, in the process, and was told to go fuck myself. Because, of course. That's just an ongoing theme. But by this point, Adept mode was turned on, because that pirate fucked me. So I realized, okay, now I need to be a bit more careful. And now you can see there's a red 1 in the top right, indicating how many times I die. Because, obviously the first one earlier when I purposely jumped in because memes does not fucking count. And I die again not long after, because bounties and shit. It was at this point that I just decided to say fuck it and accept my fate, and I had too high of a bounty that I just went to jail. And took my little penalties. And then after that, I went to the Mystic Emporium yet again to go sell some stuff and see if I could buy anything. To which, lo and behold, I was able to buy the library area. So now, I just need to buy the vault area blueprints or whatever, and then buy the 2 mage candles. Mage candles are like, I think almost 3,000 a piece, and there's 2 of them, so that's gonna take some time. But we're like halfway there. But then after that, I stumbled across another Gate of Oblivion. Well, no, I went back to the gate I found earlier, sorry. And funnily enough, as I was exploring it, there was another fucking gate. 2 gates in the same room, and I honestly thought it was the same gate, but I was like, no, that can't be right, I just came from over there. So I went through this gate, questioning my sanity, and yeah, it was deep in the fucking mountains. I was like, holy shit, instantly I was like, holy shit. Like, see, right there, and I was, toward lower down by a lake when I went through, so I was like, okay, and I don't know if this is something new that they did for the remastered, or if this was the thing in the original, I mean, there's a possibility I forgot, because I was quite young when I played the original game, but I don't remember ever being in a situation where I was in the realm of Oblivion and found a second gate that led to a different part of Tamriel. I don't remember ever encountering that, so this was completely new to me. So I would like someone to please, in the comments, tell me if this is something new, or if that was just something I just managed to miss when I was playing it back in the day. Because that genuinely confused the fuck out of me. But alas, it was at this point that I did the entire gate over encumbered, as you can tell by these clips, because I was trying to loot everything and grab everything so I could go and sell shit at the Emporium and the Slash and Smash, or Smash and Slash, whatever, you know, that other place right by, to which of course I die again. Because Adept mode is quite a jump, actually. It's actually surprising how big of a difficulty jump it is just go from Apprentice to Adept, which is only one level higher, but still. After some trial and error and stuff, I do, and being careful, I close the gate, and just that, I closed the gate. I closed the gate, but now I have a serious fucking problem. Because it did not occur to me, because like I said, this was never a problem I encountered in the original game, because I didn't know you could have multiple gates that go to the same place. Shadowmere was not here, because it kicked me out based off what was the last gate that I went through, which was the mountain one, and Shadowmere was at the other one. And now I'm over encumbered and can't fast travel, so now I have a really big problem here. Because even if I'm over encumbered, from my understanding, I could get on Shadowmere and go, you know, go on horseback and, like, you know, whatever, right? Like, it would be much faster. Like, I could have made it work, it would have been fine. But no. So, I had to improvise, and I obviously went down the hill a little bit, fought those conjurers and shit that you saw at the camp, had a little nap and leveled up, and proceeded to make my way back up the hill to take the long way around, thinking that would be easier than climbing up the fucking hill, like, at an almost 90-degree angle. To which I got murked by a fucking Timberwolf. So that was a problem. So then I reloaded back from after my nap and proceeded to go to do the hill thing, like I said, thinking that might be better. And lo and behold, it actually, despite being over encumbered and not being able to jump, I actually got up there with very little effort. I was actually kind of shocked at how easy it was, because that was my thing, is I didn't want to have to walk around the hills to get to the spire, because I thought that was going to take way fucking too long. But alas, it actually was a lot quicker than I expected it to be with being able to do that, and then I see this. A gate right by my home. And now for roleplay purposes, could you fucking imagine, like, how freaked out you'd be? Like that's like akin to having a robber enter your home and you go like, oh hell no, and then you whip out your shotgun or whatever, especially if you're an American, you know, like myself. But alas, I bypass the gate after attacking whatever attacks me, and then proceed to, instead of doing the smart thing and put my shit in the chest, and then fast travel to the Emporium, and then fast travel back, grab whatever else is in my chest, and then fast travel back to the Emporium, I decided to do the dumbest shit and teleport with the teleport pads outside to the Arcane University, which is on the complete other fucking side of the Imperial City, and walk over encumbered all the way there and sell everything at once, which honestly was kind of stupid, and I almost guarantee you that it took twice as long as it would if I did the other way. Like, okay, I guess. But after that stupidity was taken out of the thing, and I did my shit at the Emporium, I then went back home went to try and close the gate, because I am not having this gate up outside my home. I'm not going to be under that constant threat that one day that those Daedra are going to come out and swarm this spire, because it's the only thing in the vicinity. So if they're going to start doing whatever the fuck they do, they're going to do it to me. So I'm like, oh hell no. Preemptive strike. So after the confidence gained of taking out multiple gates by this point, I went in and I did my thing, and I wrecked fucking house. Not quite as good as I did before, since it's not on an Apprentice anymore. It's on Adept, but I digress. I make my way through, and I get closer to the keep. And after pulling some switches and killing some stuff in my way, I do end up outside of the main keep. And I gotta admit, Looks fucking neat. But after killing some enemies outside, I make my way inside and kill everything in the bottom row. But unfortunately, in just a moment, I hit the 12-hour mark and have to stop the video. And it ends, so my 12 hours, my first day of Oblivion ends, sadly, with a death.